So picture this. You're suddenly faced with a family medical emergency, or maybe you've just welcomed a new baby into the world. You desperately need time off, right? But the thought of losing your income is literally keeping you awake at night. It's a massive source of stress. And honestly, trying to navigate confusing state laws while you're in the middle of a major life event, it can feel completely overwhelming.
Well, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to take all that stress completely off your plate. We're going to provide you with a comprehensive, step-by-step, and totally stress-free roadmap to navigating New Jersey's paid family leave program.
Okay, let's run through our agenda really quick. First, we've got the basics of family leave. Second, are you eligible to apply? Third, our step-by-step application guide. Fourth, duration, payment, and usage. And finally, number 5, some frequently asked questions.
All right, let's dive into this with Section 1, the basics of family leave, why and when you can actually use it.
What's absolutely amazing about this program is how much power it puts back in your hands. You can use these benefits to bond with a newborn, a newly adopted child, or a foster child during their first year. You can also use it to care for a seriously ill family member. And, the definition of family is really broad here. It covers everyone from kids and spouses to grandparents and even chosen family. It even covers the time you might need to handle matters related to domestic or sexual violence. Really, it's a safety net designed to prevent financial devastation during those critical life moments.
Now here is a really crucial point we need to get straight right off the bat, so you know exactly what this program does. New Jersey Family Leave Insurance provides wage replacement. It's essentially your paycheck while you're out, but it doesn't on its own provide job protection. Job protection comes from completely separate laws, like the Federal Family and Medical Leave Act, the FMLA, or the New Jersey Family Leave Act, the NJFLA. Those are the specific laws that actually protect your position while you're away from work.
Moving right along to Section 2. Are you eligible to apply? Let's break down those requirements.
To figure this out, we kind of have to look at your base year, which is typically the first 4 of the last 5 completed quarters right before you take your leave. And the good news is there are 2 separate paths you can take to qualify. Looking ahead to the 2026 standards, you either need to have worked 20 weeks earning at least $310 weekly, or you need to have earned a combined total of $15,500 during that entire base year. As long as you hit just one of those 2 benchmarks, you pass the earnings test.
And here's a huge misconception we've got to clear up right now. Your employer does not fund this specific benefit. This program is 100% funded by worker payroll deductions. Seriously, if you look closely at your pay stub, you've likely been paying into this already. That means this is a benefit you have rightfully earned. It's yours.
Okay, on to Section 3, our step-by-step application guide. Think of this as your personal roadmap.
The whole process really just boils down to 3 essential steps, but completing them in this exact chronological order is absolutely vital if you want to prevent any disruptions in your benefits. Step 1. You must notify your employer. Step 2. Gather all your necessary documentation, things like proof of identity or medical certificates. And Step 3. Apply directly online at myleavebenefits.nj.gov.
Let's actually pause on Step 1 for a second, notifying your employer, because there are some strict rules here. If your leave is foreseeable, like a planned medical treatment or a baby's due date, you have to give your employer at least 30 days advance notice. If you fail to give that 30 days notice for a planned event, the state can actually reduce your benefits, and nobody wants that. Now, if the leave is unforeseeable, like I said, an emergency, just notify them as soon as humanly possible.
Now, what's really interesting about the paperwork itself, this is Form FL1, is how it's broken down. Part A is entirely for you to fill out. It covers all the basics, your profile info, your social security number, and the specific dates and reasons for your leave. It's pretty straightforward.
But the rest of the form is going to require a little bit of outside help. Part B asks for your employment information, including your employer's federal employer identification number. Now, your employer doesn't technically have to fill this out for you, but you will definitely need their info to complete it. Then there's Part C, the medical certificate. If you're taking leave to care for a sick relative, a healthcare provider is strictly mandated to fill this part out.
So the most critical thing to remember about all this paperwork is the deadline. You must file your application within 30 days of your leave starting. Please do not wait on this. If you file late, you risk a total denial of these much-needed funds. There is a 30-day clock ticking, so keep it top of mind.
All right, Section 4, duration, payment, and usage. Let's look at how the math actually works.
Get ready, because the number 85 is about to become your new best friend. The state of New Jersey replaces a whopping 85% of your average weekly wage while you're on family leave. That is a massive financial relief for most families.
Let's see how this math plays out in the real world. The state looks at your base year wages to calculate your specific weekly rate. Let's take a hypothetical worker, we'll call him Steve. The state is going to give Steve 85% of his specific average wage, but there is an annual cap that updates every single January. For instance, if we look at the 2026 numbers, the absolute maximum anyone can receive is capped at $1,119 per week.
And you've actually got some great options for how you take this time. You don't have to take it all at once. If you take your leave continuously, you get up to 12 weeks of benefits in a 12-month period. But you can also choose to take intermittent leave. This means breaking it up to suit your family's unique needs, like maybe taking every Friday off for treatments. If you go the intermittent route, you're allowed up to 56 individual days, which mathematically equals 8 weeks total.
Finally, Section 5, Frequently Asked Questions, where we cover the edge cases. Here's a question we get all the time, especially from folks who commute from out of state. Do I have to actually live in New Jersey to receive these benefits?
The answer to that is a definitive, absolute no. You just need to work in New Jersey. As long as those payroll deductions are happening in New Jersey, your home state doesn't matter at all. You're covered for sure. Okay, next question. What if you're in the absolute thick of a major medical crisis, where you literally just had a baby and you are way too overwhelmed to handle this paperwork yourself? What if you need help?
The good news is you absolutely do not have to do it alone. You can legally name an authorized representative right there on Part A of the application. This lets someone else step in, speak to the New Jersey Department of Labor on your behalf, and help process the claim. It offers immense relief when you just need to drop everything and focus on your family.
Before we wrap things up, keep this one evergreen rule in mind. Regulations, wage caps, and minimum earnings change annually. Always consult official resources like myleavebenefits.nj.gov or seek out legal counsel for your highly specific situation. Look, knowing your rights as a worker is your absolute best defense against systemic burnout. So, now that you've seen just how accessible this safety net really is, how are you going to use it to reclaim your family's time?